What's up, guys? Today I've got a really quick review for you of the Title Platinum ACS bag gloves. These are an older glove. This model right here is probably, I would say, 8 or 9 years old. I'm sure they make a newer version of it, but I just want to do a review of the ones I have because they've held up over the years excellent, and it goes to Title's quality. So I figured I'd do a quick review of them. So they're a bag glove. They're hook and loop closure. They're called ACS, or air cell system. Now they might even have the gel systems in between, but the air cell system. They have great padding. You can see it says ACS air cell system, and they're size medium. They didn't actually come in ounces, but I'd say a medium was it feels like a 16-ounce glove. I'm almost positive that it is, even though it doesn't say. And I don't remember if it did when I bought it or not, but it was 9 years ago. But as you can see, it's held up really well. There's some creasing in the leather, but it's still really smooth. And the glove is 100% leather, genuine leather, and it's really soft quality leather. Where I bought the Classics, which I've reviewed before and I have here, the Classics are also 100% leather, but this leather is really cheap. It's hard, and it almost feels like plastic compared to the Platinums, which I guess use a higher quality leather. And even 9 years later, it's still smooth and really has worn in well. It hasn't cracked or ripped on me or dried out. So that's a great thing to know. Your gloves are going to last a long time. Like I said, it's a bag glove, hook and loop closure. Wrist support is pretty good. It's not as sturdy as the rivals that I've done that have the angled support, but they work fine. I've never hurt my wrist with them before. Because it's a bag glove, the thumb is detached, so if you're worried about catching your thumb, you might sprain your thumb or something. So I wouldn't use these for sparring because you can catch it on your opponent, hurt them, or hurt yourself. But as far as bag gloves, they've been my first one. They've been excellent. The stitching is, nothing's bad on the stitching, even after using them for so many years. The stitching's perfect. I don't know how much the camera's going to pick up, but if you can see, it's the leather's kind of frayed around the edges here, but the stitching is held up fine. And the lining, the same thing. The lining is perfect inside. I don't know how much we'll pick up on camera, but it's not ripped at all. One thing that has happened or has fell apart after use from the years, I don't remember exactly when, but the lining inside the glove by the fingertips has come loose a little bit. It's not loose to the point where you pull your hand out of the glove, the lining comes with it. It's still attached, but it's a little loose. So now when I slip my hand in the glove, it kind of bunches up, and you got to wiggle your fingers around just a little bit until you get comfortable, to where you want it. But after 9 years, I can't really complain too much. Like I said, the leather otherwise has been smooth and fine. The only other downside I could say of these gloves is that they are a thicker, probably 2 inches or so. And if you like to feel your punches and kind of like know you're hitting on your knuckles right, these feel a little unnatural. They have a lot of padding on them, so when you're punching the bag, it kind of, after using like 12-ounce gloves like the Classics, you really can feel your punches in the Classics. But when you put on these Platinums that have a lot of extra padding, you're not going to hurt your hand, but you're not going to feel your punches. And sometimes when I'm hitting the bag, I want to make sure I'm turning my fist over 100%. And with these, I kind of feel like it's unnatural slightly. So that's one thing to consider if you're getting a bag glove that's really thick and you want to protect your hands. Well, you're going to get a little trade-off with the thicker padding because you're not going to feel the your punches. But other than that, they've held up really well, and I would definitely recommend them. I'm sure Title has a newer version of their Platinum bag gloves, and they're a staple, and they'll last you a long time.